Nobody ever saw this coming from Meryl Streep. For almost 50 years, she kept her good name safe like a careful friend. No big fights, no bad words, no holding onto anger in public, but at 76, something changed. In a rare time when she opened up honestly, she finally told the truth. There were actors she didn't just argue with, she really didn't like them. And when she said their names, everyone in Hollywood stopped and listened. These weren't small co-stars or old enemies people forgot. They were big stars, famous people that fans thought she liked a lot, maybe even loved. But Streep's words didn't stop at the names. She explained just what each one did wrong in a clear and strong way that shocked even her good friends. Once you hear why, you won't see their movies the same way anymore. Let's start. Number 1. Alec Baldwin. For Meryl Streep, acting has always been serious work, planned out, exact, and based on real feelings. She only goes into a scene after thinking hard about why the person acts that way, the speed of talking, and what they want with full care. Alec Baldwin, though, loves to do things without a plan. For him, real acting comes from what he feels right then, making things up and saying any joke or line that comes to mind. When the two got put together and It's Complicated, Nancy Meyers hoped their different ways would make a good mix. Instead, it caused one of the quietest but strongest fights over ideas in Streep's work life. From the first week of filming, the people working there felt it. The tight feeling, the stiff way Streep stood when Baldwin changed a line in the middle of a scene, the way Baldwin didn't care and called her careful, way too much thinking. Streep never yelled at him in front of everyone, but her mad feelings showed in small ways. After one messed up practice, someone heard her say, "Funny parts have to come from real feelings or it's just silly sounds." To her, Baldwin's surprise ways hurt the deep heart of the movie. Baldwin at the same time thought her careful way held things back. He stood up for his way with a smile, telling a boss, "Real feelings happen right now. If you practice too much, it stops being real." Years later, Streep talked about how they worked in a careful way, saying only, "We thought about things in different ways." For someone as nice as Streep, that meant a lot. Baldwin liked to make jokes about the bad feelings. "Oh, Merle hated me for sure, but I was having a great time." But under the jokes, he said they never really got along well. "We didn't always get along." The bad feelings never turned into big public fights, but it quietly changed their work lives. Streep said no to several later movies that had Baldwin, and the two have not worked together again. Today, they stay nicely apart. Friendly at events, nice in talks, but clearly far because their ways of making art don't match. Number 2. Kevin Kline. For Meryl Streep, acting has never been about quick feelings or being likable. It is hard work, months of getting ready, going deep into the person, and careful steps built from deep inside. Long before the cameras start, she builds a person bit by bit, making every small thing real. That is the rule she follows. Kevin Kline could not be more different. Where Streep wanted plans, Kline loved quick ideas. He liked to go through a scene without tight rules, letting surprise ideas change things right then. He thought the best acting came from no plan, from letting quick feelings lead where careful thinking could not. So when the two got put in Sophie's Choice in 1982, from the outside it seemed like great choices. Two great actors, one sad story, easy good feelings between them. But in the practice rooms, things were not friendly at all. Streep spent months learning from real stories of people who lived through bad times, working with teachers on how to talk, and building Sophie's broken mind with careful pain. She learned both Polish and German, thinking Sophie's changing voice was key to her hurt. Klein thought this was too much. In one hard practice, he suddenly stopped and asked her, "Do you really think people care more about how you say words than what she feels?" To Streep, that wasn't just a question, it hurt her a lot. Sophie's voice was her hurt, the feeling of not belonging, the broken culture, the lost self. Klein's words pushed away the base of her work, and the split got worse. After filming, Klein made a bad choice by saying in talks that Streep's way was a bit like schoolwork. He probably said it without thinking bad, maybe even nicely. But for Streep, who had felt deep pain for that part, hearing her work called school stuff was like a quiet hit. People working there later said the change happened fast. They still acted nice, but the friendly feeling went away. A boss remembered she liked his skill, but after that she didn't trust him. Klein, for his part, made light of the bad feelings. When asked years later about how Hay got along, he laughed it away. "Merle likes to get ready a lot, I like to jump in, that's it." But under the laughs, he never said there was no problem, he just made it softer. Streep never made it softer at all. She acted like a pro, always nice at events, kind in public, but she never took another movie with Klein, even with many chances over the years. People in the business say she quietly said no to every idea that would bring them back together. They met at award shows where Streep stayed far in a formal way, the kind that says more than any fight. Number 3, Jack Nicholson. In Hollywood, some bad feelings stay quiet for years, never coming out big but changing work choices from behind. The bad feelings between Meryl Streep and Jack Nicholson is one of those rare, famous, quiet fights. A bad feeling that never got big news but changed who got parts, changed studio ideas, and made one of the big, what-if empty spots in movie history. It started long before either said it out loud. From the late 1970s on, studios really wanted to put the two big stars together. Hard, sad movies, government stories, book changes. Every year, new ideas came up. Bosses thought Nicholson's strong charm and Streep's exact skill would make fast, big money, but after a few early talks, it all fell apart. The problem wasn't if they got along well. It was how they thought about acting. Streep saw acting as a serious job, something needing careful steps, study, and care for real things. Nicholson saw acting as bold moves, quick feelings, pushing people. He once said in a talk, half laughing, half making fun, getting ready is like touching yourself in your mind. That saying went around Hollywood fast. For most actors, it was just Nicholson being funny, wild, hard to guess. For Streep, it hurt bad. She had spent her life learning skills, ways to talk, mind stuff, going fully into people with deep care. To hear one of the strong men in Hollywood make fun of that hard work in public felt like a hit on acting itself. One person at a studio talk remembered the change. Merle's face didn't move, but everyone knew she was finished. Nicholson didn't stop, he just didn't care, finding her strong feelings funny. He told a friend later, she's great, but wow, she gets upset easy. That didn't make it better. A person who picks actors, Juliet Taylor, later said the split clear. Jack is everything Meryl thinks is bad about being a star. Streep never said she was wrong. Behind things, she quietly said no to one idea after another with Nicholson's name. No yelling, no words, no big problem, just a strong no that didn't change. Even when studios said it would be special, win awards, or pay a lot, she said no. Number 4, Dustin Hoffman. In Hollywood, some actors get known for quick feelings and wild ways. Others get known for careful steps, trust, and real feelings. Meryl Streep and Dustin Hoffman were from opposite sides of that, and their meeting in Kramer vs. Kramer became one of the quietest but most angry splits in American movies. Streep did acting like a doctor, cutting skin, careful, with respect, knowing the feelings under. Every quiet moment, every breath, every voice change was on purpose. To her, the work was special, a team between actors based on saying yes and trust. Hoffman had a whole different way. He was all in on wild method, believing in mess. He pushed hard, went past lines, and brought real bad feelings into scenes if he thought it would make deeper real stuff. He once told a new actor, "You can't make real stuff up, you have to make it happen." And on the set of Kramer vs. Kramer, he made it happen to Streep. The time that set their bad feelings happened early in making the movie. In a scene to show the hard bad feelings between their people, Hoffman suddenly hit Streep hard on the face, no warning, no practice, and for sure no okay from her. It wasn't written. It wasn't talked about. It wasn't safe. For Hoffman, it was a way to act. For Streep, it was wrong and hurtful. People working there said the sound went through the set, then quiet shock. Streep didn't yell, didn't cry, didn't stop acting. She just stopped moving, the kind of quiet that scares even old bosses. Later, she talked about that time with exact words. That was going too far. That was not acting. Those words weren't big. They were true. And they held the pain she would never fully let go. The bad feelings just got more from there. Hoffman kept making things up, pushing, making mad. He threw real things, yelled real bad words, and said lines he never practiced. The boss, Robert Benton, had to spend more time fixing fights than making the movie, stuck between Streep's careful art and Hoffman's wild way. One person working there said, some of the strongest parts weren't acting, they were real explosions. The world saw great work. Streep saw hurt even after the movie won big at the Oscars. Hoffman got Best Actor, Streep got Best Supporting Actress. Her own fight stayed bad. She left with a win but also with hurts of another kind. Years later, when asked about working with Hoffman, Streep didn't make it nice. Good for work, she said, but bad for me as a person. Hoffman's answers over time were hard to pin down. Sometimes he stood up for his ways. Other times he said sorry in a halfway with art reasons. He once said, I was trying to make the scene better, maybe I went too far. But Streep never made it easier. Not ever. They never got put together again. Number 5, Gwyneth Paltrow. If there was one thing that hurt Meryl Streep deep, it was fake deep acting. The kind of being famous that looks easy because it was easy. Not mean, but the shiny kind of fame from family help, selling yourself, and a perfect public picture. For Streep, acting had always been hard work. Serious, careful, earned with tough effort. So when Gwyneth Paltrow got big fast in the 1990s, Streep didn't see a new good actor. She saw a sign of what Hollywood was becoming. Paltrow's way was easy from the start. Blythe Danner as mom, Bruce Paltrow as dad. She didn't have to fight up, she just walked in. Good parts came to her, doors opened easy. People who judged said good things about every move. And while Hollywood liked her nice look, Streep stayed quiet in a way that meant something. A quiet that spoke loud. A good friend later remembered one of Streep's private words. It's skill without hard work, famous without hard times. To Streep, Paltrow stood for a new famous person, easy from family, pushed by good time and friends. Nothing showed that split more than the night it all became clear. The Oscars. Paltrow won Best Actress for Shakespeare in Love. Streep, after one of her hardest acts in One True Thing, got nothing. She smiled for pictures, but inside she was really mad. Friends said she called that year's win a selling game dressed as a prize. She never said Paltrow's name, but everyone knew. From then the far feeling just got more. When asked about new actresses, Streep said good things about Cate Blanchett, Amy Adams, Jessica Chastain, women known for hard getting ready, but she never said Paltrow, not one time. People in the business saw the cold. Short smiles at award shows, fast nods, no warm, no talk. Paltrow always stayed nice in public. Early in her work, when asked about Streep, she said a practiced line, "Meryl is the best, I love her, everyone does." But inside, she felt the cold. A old helper remembered her saying quietly backstage, "Meryl never liked me, I don't know what I did wrong." Number 6, Jeremy Irons. Of all the names Meryl Streep has kept quiet in her long mind, Jeremy Irons might be the most surprising one, not because of any big public fight, but because their teamwork should have been great. Two well-trained, strong actors, two people known for skill and smart ways. On paper, it was a great fit. In real, it was a quiet mess. For Streep, acting was digging deep, going into the deep parts of a person, looking for hurt, real stuff, and feeling past. Every small thing counted. The way someone walks, the sound of a word, the breath before talking. She often said, a way of talking isn't just acting, it's a person's life story. Jeremy Irons, though, saw acting different. To him, acting was building nice shapes, pretty, controlled, made smooth. He did parts like shiny rock figures, nice, held back, exact. The feeling mess Streep loved felt too much to him. What started as art difference turned into something colder. One practice got known with the people working there. Streep had worked hard on her person's way of talking, putting in culture details in every word. Irons listened, waited, then said, "It's very careful work. Don't you think people will care more about feelings than sounds?" The room got quiet. To Irons, it was a small word. To Streep, it was very wrong, pushing away the base of her work. A worker later said, "You could feel the air get different. She didn't get loud, she didn't fight, she just got hard." From then the line was there. Irons thought her work too much. Streep thought his empty of feelings. Their scenes became like fights, his cool far clashing with her open hurt. They stood close, saying lines that had bad feelings the writing never asked for. Workers said quietly that they had never seen two actors so close in body but so far in feelings. One helper boss said it perfect. They were in the same scene but in two different places. Irons tried to stay nice after. When asked years later about working with Streep, he said with some far feeling, "We just do things different. She goes deep in, I build out." Streep was not as nice. Without saying his name, she once said in a talk, "Some actors think holding back is deep, quiet is real." Everyone knew who. Their friendship never got better. They acted nice in public, friendly at work events, but fully not matching. Neither looked for another teamwork, and bosses soon learned that ying a movie with both was no use. And so, as things calm on these long-hidden bad feelings, one thing is clear. Even the actress with the most wins of her time had quiet fights that changed her work in ways people never saw. 6 actors, 6 stories, and a life of quiet anger finally out at age 76. But which of these bad feelings surprised you the most? Tell your ideas in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on alerts for more deep stories like this. Until next time.